Welcome to Planning Preview for October. The items that we're going to discuss here today will be on the November 4th Planning Commission meeting at 6 o'clock, and that's located at the Carnegie Town Hall. We encourage anyone that has any questions or concerns on these specific items to come there at 6 o'clock on November 4th. My name is Jason Bieber with the Planning and Development Services Department, and today I actually have a new guest here, Albert Schmidt.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Normally we do have the Planning Commission chair that does this, but this month it didn't really work out with vacations and different things going on. So we have Albert doing the answer portion, and I guess I'm attempting to moderate that. So
Plan B for both spots.
Let's get right into this because we do have quite a few items, which is a little odd for November. Typically we start coming down maybe on our downslide on this, but I think we've seen over the last couple of months we're actually going up, and I think people are starting to get some of those projects that they've had waited on for the last 6 or 7 months and starting to ramp up. So it is quite unusual to have this many items, but obviously it keeps us busy. So let's get right into the first one. Looks like we've got a conditional use permit for on-sale alcohol located at 605 West 11th Street. I think this is 11th and Duluth. Is this the existing strip center there with the Mercado?
Yeah, so you'll notice it's kind of an older facility that's been there with the Mercado, the Lucky Ladies, casino. It's fairly simplistic application. They're just looking at adding a new tenant space to add more machines in there from the state of South Dakota since they recently changed it. We've seen a significant amount of these this past year since that change has come from the state. So nothing really new going on there, just adding some additional machines. I wouldn't anticipate seeing any physical changes really on site there.
Yeah, and it's like you said, we've seen quite a few of these, and we usually have 2 or 3 on each agenda. It seems like since the beginning of the year. So
exactly.
Nothing too crazy. Next one we've got actually a rezoning here on 3635 West Platinum Point Place.
Yeah.
This looks like it's Louise and 81st Street, kind of some existing townhomes.
Yeah,
there.
so it's an interesting side. I think it's just kind of simplistically a rezone so that they can transfer ownership and use it for what they want to use it for. So it's an existing facility, already built, no new units planned, nothing going to be constructed there. This is kind of just following through so the paperwork so they can do the financing they need. So pretty straightforward.
And we've kind of, the plan, correct me if I'm wrong, but the planning office has kind of said townhomes are ones that we kind of consider where they're going to plat off each one individually, kind of down that firewall. And then if you're going to have a bunch of units on one parcel, we would then have to kind of bump that up to apartment residential.
Yeah, and I usually tell people the easiest way to look at this is townhomes are typically, if you're going to have individual services going to each unit, that you got to have townhome side of it.
Yep.
If you're going to have one building with one main thing going in, then that's an apartment, regardless of how you divide the interior. Because obviously with an apartment, you can rent those or you can condo those, but still to us, it's one service going in, one building, that's an apartment.
Yep, great. Next one here, we've got a rezone, and this looks like this is going from the light industrial and single family to the RD2 townhome residential, kind of in the core area at 705 South Blauvelt Avenue.
Yeah.
Looks like the owner here is Lifescape. And
yeah, so this one here, they're looking at adding another group home facility in this general area here. And so this is an area where we've had empty lots for a significant amount of time, and they're just trying to build that in there. We feel that style of them is going to likely fit in very nicely in that neighborhood. The biggest issue that they have to worry about in that is just trying to make sure that they fit into our floodplain regulations. But from a use standpoint from this side, it's just making it, and it's going to feel very similar to the existing houses, and it's no longer going to be an open field.
Yeah, and they do a really good job with making those units look like single family or twin homes, kind of to blend in with the neighborhood. And none of the people that live there drive, so they usually only have 1 car or 2 cars, the people that are actually taking care of the individuals.
Yeah, normally when you think about these, you're going to see things like asphalt shingle roofs, peaked roofs, I mean, very similar to that side. The only thing you're going to notice probably different if they build them similar to they have in the past is you're going to see maybe a slightly larger garage door than you would normally see.
Yep. No, I think they fit in pretty well, and especially this area when you have single family on the east, and then this kind of goes to your townhome, this one, Lifescape, and then there's actually light industrial to the west. So this is kind of that good transition.
Absolutely, I think it's going to work out.
Yep. Next, we've got a rezone, looks like from the pedestrian-oriented PUD to RD2 townhome residential. And this is up at the northwest corner of 12th and Ellis, kind of that Cherry Lake area.
Yeah, so with this one, it's kind of that remnant piece of the plan A of what the area was going to be, and things have shifted with the market and their desire for that, so this is turning into completely residential area, and so now they're just looking at adding twin homes, some single family, and some fourplexes in that area. And if you look at our meeting, you'll see some renderings of what those kind of look like, but it should be a very easy, nice transition in that area. It'll be all residential. We don't anticipate any major issues from that.
Yeah, and I think that I remember, 6-7 years ago when we were doing this development, we were a little shocked at how much this has taken off, and it's crazy. I mean, that thing's been building like gangbusters up there, and it seems like everybody wants to live up there. It was a little shocking from a planning perspective.
And the interesting thing too, from my perspective, is that the common things that kind of stop or hold things back, like school district boundaries, haven't really seemingly affected the development or sales of these houses out there. So it's been quite interesting to watch.
It's been a great development for Van Buskirk.
Yes.
Next up, we got looks like another conditional use. Looks like an on-sale alcoholic beverage establishment. This is at the northeast corner of Ellis and 41st Street, kind of northwest of the new fairway there, that vacant land that's adjacent to Ellis Road, some additional commercial land.
Yeah, so I'd say kitty corner from the Sanford Clinic over there. Very simple. They're looking to put a new strip mall in, and they want to have an alcohol use in there. So it's very traditional along an arterial roadway. So we don't anticipate any major issues that can't be mitigated through any buffer yard standards. So it's pretty basic. I
think that's going to be one of those areas that in 5 years, that whole corner there, the northeast, northwest, and southwest, we've had such movement on that in the next 5 years, that's going to be completely developed.
Yeah, it's going to be unrecognizable from its previous self. Yeah. Absolutely.
It's a very one area that's growing a lot. Next here we got a rezoning at 1312 North Archer Drive. This looks like this is just east of Cleveland and kind of north of 6th Street. I believe it backs up to the Grand Prairie Foods industrial area.
You were correct.
We've had some previous rezonings there to twin homes just because single family next to industrial is maybe not the best use for that area.
Interestingly enough, last year the lot just to the west of it, which is still finalizing construction, did the same rezoning. So this is the exact same thing, same builder, same design. So we, from staff-wise, look at that. It's a perfect transition to that heavier use to the north there. No issues from our side, and we haven't had issues from the first one anyways. So expected.
Yep, absolutely. And I think those lots have been kind of sitting there a while at single family, and now that they've been rezoned to twin homes, I think they've constructed all of them. So it's good to be able to get that infill and get those lots filled in that already have infrastructure too. So next here we've got what we call a planned unit development, initial development plan. We got a couple of, or quite a few planned unit developments. A lot of them are large institutionals. This one specifically has to do with Sanford's, kind of their master plan for their core main campus on 18th and Grange in that area.
Yeah, so what happened here is they're coming for us to just update that plan, incorporate some additional information that we've worked on with them. So we're looking at incorporating a master parking plan. We're looking at incorporating a master setback plan and then height plan. So as they develop their plans for additions, we had a building come in where they want to do an addition on top of an existing building, and we're just trying to make sure everything fits in with what their plans are and keep it as flexible for what they need, but also respect the neighborhood, make sure that we're giving the protections that we need to those single family houses around the area.
Yeah, it kind of gives us that baseline that we've tried to do since Shade Places became effective with all these major institutional uses, to get us an idea of what they got for parking, what they need, maybe some future buildings that they know about or parking lots, to really be able to show those existing neighbors what the future plans are. And this is kind of where they're looking to grow, and so people know about that.
Exactly, and I think it's important to note here too that with this one of the major things we're doing is doing a master height restriction side of it. And so when you look at this from a planning perspective, right, the higher they can build in that area, the less they have to build out. So less houses they have to take in. And so it's a positive from our aspect. We're trying to maintain as much of that existing housing as feasibly possible. So it's a very important step.
Absolutely. Next here we've got a preliminary subdivision plan for the Grand Prairie development. I believe this is the development that we had a rezone last month on 77th and Cliff. They're looking to do, they're going to do some apartments, I believe, on the one lot, and then the rest of those lots as you transition over to Cliff Avenue are still zoned commercial. So they're kind of getting the first steps to hopefully construct those apartments, and then, as you know, when you start getting more rooftops in that area, then possibly the services will come and we have that announcement for Veterans Parkway going in.
Yes.
So this area is probably getting primed to start developing.
Yeah, so exactly right. We're matching up there. This is getting that whole area set up so that the rezoning that we did do last time can now move forward with that at least, and then they're prepped for that other part. Because with Veterans Parkway, and that neighborhood has been expecting services as well. So hopefully with the announcement of Veterans Parkway, and that being phase 1 of Veterans Parkway, so the first one. So I think they're looking to set that up, and hopefully they will get that commercial development that the neighborhood has desired in that area, and this additional rooftops will help out. This is that first step.
Yep. I think it'll be a great little development there. Last one, it looks like we've got a rezone here. Looks like it's C2 commercial to some RA1 apartments. This, correct me if I'm wrong, but this would be just east of Minnesota and north of 85th Street, kind of east of the surgical medical building out there. And then I believe Veterans Parkway kind of loops around right to the northwest of this.
Yeah, you're correct. Yeah, this is right in the future Veterans Parkway Phase 1 area. So it's next, just west of the existing apartment complex on 85th Street there. It's anticipated just kind of an expansion of that side. And RA1 is the lowest level apartment complex that we have. So again, as you know, no more than 2 stories, no more than 24 units per building. So we don't anticipate any issue, especially being that close to where Veterans Parkway is going to overpass 85th Street. It's a very logical area. Get that kind of density, protect that area later on. So on the outsides there, so it makes sense to us.
Yeah, and I think under the old ordinance prior to shade places, it's like everybody wanted commercial, and and now I think once we've got those intersections kind of set, like 85th and Minnesota, this was a little bit too far east from that intersection, so commercial just didn't make sense. You're not going to have retail that far east. People want to be more on that main drag, and so to me, apartments is a perfect use for that little.
Absolutely, we've also seen, like last month when you talked about, we had rezonings where people at the same time on the north side of town thought commercial was that perfect use, and the market came out and all of a sudden I-1 is better up there.
Yeah.
So we just try to be flexible on that side with the markets and with actual what gets developed and when we actually have a plan for what's going on and be as flexible as we can.
And flexibility also comes along with making sure we have the proper land use transitions, buffering, and make sure we're not putting a sewage plant next to a single family house.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Good point.
Well, thanks for all the insight on that, Albert. Thanks for filling in this month. You did an amazing job.
I'm no Jason Bieber, but I'll try.
And I'm no Sean Irvin, but I'm going to try. So thanks for joining us for Planning Preview. Just to reiterate, the meeting is on November 4th, 6 o'clock at the Carnegie Town Hall. Like I said, if there's any questions on any of these, please come to the meeting. Otherwise, you can give us a call, 367-8888, and ask for one of us. But we'd love to have you at the meeting. And
I'd recommend be on time. With this meeting, we haven't had any comments on anything on here, and so we anticipate a very expedited meeting. So please be there at 6, no later.
Yep. And thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next month.